I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
Yes.
Because the Desert Island movie, just to give a little more context, it's a little different from your favorite movie. Like there's a measure of like rewatchability. So it's not just like the best movies. It's not your like, oh, this is the greatest movie ever made, so I have to like I have to take this. It's something you're gonna be stuck with this movie, so you have to be able to throw it on any time, and it's still a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I'm going out on a limb here because this is a movie that I'm sure you think is one of the best ever.
Okay. Yeah.
But also has that rewatchability where you could just keep watching it over and over.
Yes.
I'm going to say Braveheart.
Yes. Braveheart's my number one. You got that. Yeah, dead on. Braveheart is... So, like, if the plane is going down or the ship is sinking...
Yeah.
And I'm looking at, like, the DVD collection on the wall, Braveheart's the first movie I'm grabbing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the first one. Do you want my secondary, where like I'm reaching for it, I can't get Braveheart,
and you decided on Braveheart over this movie?
Yes, and I'm going. Now I have to reach out for the movie where I'm like, well, if I can't get Braveheart, I'm gonna get this movie. So it's not my number two. It's the like, it's It's the replacement.
It's
the replacement of the Braveheart. Do you want to try and guess what you think it is, or you want me to just say it?
I mean, I would assume it would be a similar movie.
Yes.
So I'd probably go along the lines of like Gladiator.
No.
Oh.
Okay, you want it?
Yeah. What is it?
Last of the Mohicans.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I should have been able to guess that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Do you want me to try and guess
one of mine?
I'm gonna guess The General.
Ooh, that's a really good guess. I did not have that on my list. I did not have it on any of my lists.
Any of them? Okay. Wow. What?
Yeah, I know. Well, okay. So can I explain a little bit of my process?
Yes.
So I tried to pick movies that were kind of sort of different genres, or at least like different feels.
Yeah.
So I have a comedy, but I have just one comedy.
Okay.
And it's like, if I had to pick a comedy that I could just watch over and over again, this is the one I'm going to pick. And then I also have a horror film.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the horror film that I feel like I got it. Like, this is the one I got to pick. Mm-hmm. And then there's a different feel, for like the other movies. Like, they're not specifically a genre, but it's like, know, there's stuff.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you have any black and white films?
No, surprisingly, no.
Yeah, so there's no black and white. Okay, so now that kind of like narrows it down. Like for me, I don't have any horror films. Can I guess your horror film?
Guess my horror, yeah, okay.
I'm going to guess The Shining.
That is on my replacement list.
Really? So The Shining is the replacement if you can't grab... Yes.
You want me to tell you? It's...
Yes.
It Follows.
Oh, great. I never would have guessed that you would have picked that. Yeah. I think, I was telling people It Follows is the best horror film of this century, of the 2000s up.
Like 2000 to now?
Yeah, 2000 to now, I think It Follows is the best horror film that we've gotten.
Yeah. When it comes to rewatchability, I think that it's just the best one for me. But yeah, The Shining was kind of on, it was on my my replacement list. But yeah, I had to kind of. Oh, you know what? Okay.
What?
My list is a little weird, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
The reason why I didn't pick a horror film is because I'm alone on this island, and there's no freaking way I'm watching something scary. There's
you hear
no
a noise
way.
in the bushes. You're like,
yeah. There's no way, dude. I was like surprised you picked the horror. I was like, there's no way I can go with the horror film because I'm not going to be able to handle it while I'm by myself.
I mean, you've seen me with horror.
Yeah,
yeah. All right.
Okay. So
I have another guess for you.
Yes.
I'm going out on another limb here.
Right?
Because it's not a good movie. But I know that you watch it a lot.
Okay.
Jaws 3.
So Jaws 3 is not on my list. but it's not on any of my. It's not. It's yeah. It's nowhere. It's nowhere near it. But it is. It's one that I considered. But like I thought of it when I was thinking of the list, but I was like, no. So like my list is actually, I would say, all of them are good movies.
Okay, then I'm gonna say RoboCop.
Yeah. Yes. So RoboCop is my number 2 alt movie that I would grab if I couldn't grab. Yes, I'm reaching for this movie. I can't get it. I grab RoboCop instead. Do you want what my number 2 is?
Yes.
It's weird how these two movies, for some reason, are capturing the same feel, but they're so different. My number 2 is Life is Beautiful.
Ooh.
And RoboCop is the alt to that one.
That is weird.
Yeah.
That's an interesting...
But they both deal with the struggles of humanity and staying kind of like positive and finding your humanity in the midst of terror.
Yeah.
Like one of them is sort of like he's in this, in Life is Beautiful, he's in this horrible World War II situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then RoboCop is in this horrible dystopian robotic future situation.
Yeah.
And they both, I think, obviously I think Life is Beautiful does a better job of like capturing humanity. But they both...
Otherwise you would have picked RoboCop.
Yeah, they both have that theme.
Yeah.
And when I thought of like, well, if I couldn't grab Life is Beautiful, what would I grab? And there's really not a whole lot of other movies that really capture that feel for me. Yeah. And RoboCop was the next one that was like really close that I also love and would love to be able to grab. But I wouldn't take it with me as my top 5 unless I had to, unless I couldn't grab one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Do you want? Can I take a guess?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna guess The Godfather.
No, it's on my honorable mentions.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's just so good and it's so entertaining.
Yeah.
But like, it's if it's something I have to watch over and over again, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think I'm having a tough time guessing yours. Let me guess your comedy.
Okay.
It's a Mad World.
No. Oh, that's a good guess.
You gotta be kidding.
No, I went way more on like the dumb side of things. Yeah. Where it's like I just want to be entertained, so I'm just gonna watch like fun movies. Yeah. I'm stuck on a desert island, like You want to hear my comedy?
Yes, I want to hear your comedy.
Tommy Boy.
You went with Tommy Boy.
I went with Tommy Boy, and I went with Tommy Boy over.
Yes.
My secondary, Raising Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, but I feel like no, it kind of makes sense because I didn't want to pick anything that was like felt like a downer while I'm alone, and I wanted stuff that was more
upbeat.
Yeah, upbeat and felt like the Tommy Boy's kind of like a buddy thing, so it's got that human movie. Yeah, it's got that human relationship. Raising Arizona feels a little bit more like abstract in the human relationship aspect. So I do understand that. I don't want to get
too introspective when I'm alone on an island.
Yeah.
And I've been told that that Tommy Boy and Raising Arizona seem to be like kind of my biggest influences for my films. Or like when they watch like my comedy, particularly the Golden Boys. It's like it's kind of got that buddy feel. But yeah, like Raising Arizona, like my wife Breeze told me that like, man, I can really see like the influence that this movie's had on your movies. Like you seem to really enjoy these two.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy was the one I went with.
Oh gosh. I don't know if I don't think I have a straight up comedy. Like they're comedies, but I think they're also like a mixed genre.
My next guess was going to be a comedy.
Okay.
I was going to guess Groundhog Day.
I do not have Groundhog's Day.
Okay.
It's not even. It wouldn't even. Yeah, it's not even on like the list. Do you want to hear what my comedy is?
Yeah. Yeah.
I went with The Wedding Singer.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah. My secondary to that
Yeah.
If I couldn't grab The Wedding Singer, I would have grabbed Say Anything.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Because I think...
I wouldn't have expected that. I was gonna so I was gonna I guessed Groundhog Day, and if it wasn't Groundhog Day, then I was gonna guess Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, yeah. No, I think yeah, it's tough because it's almost like it's tough because when you're thinking of like somebody's DVD collection, it's different than what they would grab that they think would get them through a situation like being on a desert island.
Yeah.
Because it's like, so yeah, I think. Yeah, but The Wedding Singer I think would be a great one just because it's the music, it's upbeat, it's got like its low point, but then it like bounces back and it's fun.
Yeah, that might be my biggest problem is I don't really have like a lot of music in my choices.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Did you wanna go for another guess, or did you want me to?
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I'm striking out so hard. Another guess. Rocky.
One of them.
Rocky's one of them.
They're one of the Rockies.
Oh, and it's not Rocky because otherwise I would have gotten it. It's not. It's not 2. It's not 3. It's got to be. It's. I mean, it's either 4 or 6, right? Right? Is it 4?
Yeah, it's 4.
Rocky 4.
Yeah.
You would bring Rocky 4 with you.
Rocky 4 is the most fun.
It is. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It is a ridiculously fun movie.
Yeah.
You're not thinking of runtime though. It's a very short film.
I know. It's really short.
Like I was kind of keeping runtime in mind as well. Like
I was not.
Really?
That might have been a good idea. But yeah, I did not go down that path.
Wow. Okay. What number was Rocky 4 at?
I didn't put them in a specific order.
Okay.
Because that I think would have just been too.
Yeah, would have been too difficult.
But it's also like because these are just the way I'm looking at these movies is they're supposed to be entertaining me.
Yes. Yeah. And
keeping my interest while I'm alone on a desert island. So it's like I'm not really thinking of them in terms of ranking. I'm more thinking of them like here's my deck of cards. Here's my 52 cards, and I need all 52 in order to entertain me.
Yeah. That you're trying. Yeah, I was trying to do that too, where I felt like any mood I might potentially be in, one of these is gonna fit it. And kind of keep my spirits up and make me feel like I've got like a human connection with other people, Yeah.
So you got Braveheart, you got Life is Beautiful.
Yes.
You got Say Anything.
I've got The Wedding Singer was my.
Oh yeah. Okay, you're right. The Wedding Singer.
Yeah.
And geez, you have 2 more.
I've got 2 more. Yeah.
Did you only have one comedy? Or were the other 2 kind of comedies too?
The other 2 probably would be considered. They're well, one of them is comedy adjacent, I'd say, but it's more like they're more like maybe dramas, They're hard, yeah.
What? I have no idea.
Do you want me to
give you?
I'll give you a hint. I'm always talking about this movie. From this century, from the 2000s up, being the best movie of the century.
Silver Linings Playbook.
Yes, Silver Linings Playbook is my number 3. Yeah.
Silver Linings Playbook is pretty dang good.
Yeah. I understand why when people aren't like, they're like Silver Linings Playbook, like that was good.
Yeah.
But the reason why I like it so much is because it's firing on all cylinders. Like, it's funny. The acting is superb.
Yeah.
It's got the love story kind of going in. It's weird.
It's distinct. It has a feel.
It's intelligent. Feel. It's just firing on all cylinders. Like the only thing it doesn't really have in it is like great action scenes.
Right.
But I actually was avoiding action scenes in this list
Yeah.
Specifically because I felt like I probably wouldn't care so much to watch the action stuff when I'm trapped on an island where I have to do my own hunting and my own, like, I'm getting the action I need by like walking and finding water and, you know, finding resources. I'm not really going to need to see like the Matrix
Interesting.
for this cool action scenes, because like I'm already doing that stuff. I need the human relatability stuff and the
My
good
remaining
feels.
two are action.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
but like flamboyant, you know, fun to watch,
Yeah.
colorful action, you know.
Okay, my first guess is Die Hard.
Die Hard, I had to put on my honorable mentions list.
Okay, so it is there.
Yeah. But I was going more for like a fun action rather than like a grungy action.
Yeah. It's not Lethal Weapon, right?
No, I kind of
put Die
put that
Hard.
in with Die Hard.
Yeah. A fun action film.
Yeah.
Let me guess this one then, because my secondary Silver Linings Playbook, if I couldn't grab Silver Linings Playbook, was The Princess Bride.
Oh my gosh, that's a really good pick.
Yeah.
And I probably would have put that in my secondary if I had thought about it.
Yeah. What is it then? What is your action film?
I have two action films.
Yes.
And one of them is Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Really? You put Kingsman in there?
Kingsman.
Wow. I'm surprised how much you like that film. It's good. I like it. It's good, but yeah.
Yeah. There are a few movies that I feel like, wow, like this is entertaining from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Kingsman's one of those where I feel like, yeah, this was extremely well done from beginning to end.
Yeah.
So it's actually the first movie that popped into my head when we decided to do this.
Yeah. Huh. My last film.
Yeah.
And this one I actually have at number 5. I don't know. I think maybe like my first 3 were probably like in order. And then after that I was like, whatever, 4, 5, like whatever.
Yeah.
But my last one is, we were just talking about this film.
Snow Falling on Cedars.
No. Snow Falling on Cedars isn't in the list because it's a downer film.
Yeah.
It's kind of a low energy.
It would have to be Empire Strikes Back.
Yes. Empire Strikes Back is on my list. Do you know what the secondary to that one is? Another sci-fi film that I love.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you would have picked Dune.
Yes. So, Dune with Kyle MacLachlan, the David Lynch Dune, is... Yeah, here's the funny story behind Dune, since we've already talked about Empire Strikes Back, and I think everyone understands why I would pick that movie, because I love that film. But a funny story about Dune is I was flying one time, and I was talking to this like woman, and we were talking about Dune. Somehow Dune came up.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh yeah, like, I hate that stupid movie. And I'm like, yeah, I love that movie. She's like, oh, well, she's like, that makes sense. Like, she's like, you wouldn't like it if you read the book. And I was like, I read the book. I like the movie better. And she like looked at me.
Yeah.
And then we never talked again. Like, she just looked at me and she was like, I'm going to go read. And she just started reading her like Mockingjay Hunger Games book. And
Dune.
we never said another word to each other. I mean, she was some random person, but like we were talking for like a good like 20 minutes, and then that came up, and it was like,
She's
done
like,
with you.
clearly, this man is a serial killer.
People, the degree to which people love the book Dune and then hate the movie is like, it's almost like somebody being like a Red Sox fan and someone being a Yankees fan, and then they just cannot have a conversation with each other because of it.
Yeah. I remember hating the movie, and then I was like, let me watch it again, give it another chance. And then like the whole time watching it the second time, I was like talking to myself. I was watching it by myself, but I was like talking like, why the hell did they do that? Like, why are they like, shut up with the narration. Like, if I wanted to read a book, I would have read a book. Show me a movie. And like I was just complaining the entire time. I do not like that movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
and it's
you do.
It's one of those things. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Where for some reason there's no other movie like it, and so I think a lot of people are like, for good reason. But if if
You
for
like that
whatever reason it
distinct-
captures you, because I've talked to
Yeah.
people who like the movie and they are like fanatically in love with the movie, where they're like,
Yeah.
you need to watch this movie. You've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
seen Dune? Oh my god! And then you watch it,
Right.
and then you're showing it to people, and they're like, "What are you showing me? That's
Yeah.
garbage."
Yeah.
It's
It's
just
garbage.
it's just one of those. I mean, it's just this one of those movies. It's snowfall. It's the snow falling on cedars of sci-fi films.
Yeah. Yeah.
Snow falling on cedars is very similar though, where there's a lot of like kind of narration, and
Yeah.
it
Kind
has
of like
that
weird, like echo
yes,
type stuff.
yes. There's a weird OCD
Yeah.
ness to both those films where they feel very OCD, like an OCD person wrote or did it. And when
Yeah.
you're OCD, you understand those films very well and you really
Yeah.
enjoy them because you're like, this captures how I feel. Like the
Yeah.
constant narration in my head, the
Yeah.
the like repeated, the just repeating of stuff.
Yeah.
It just it really captures that feel so well, and no other movie does it.
Well,
Yeah, where are
I
we?
think I think there's a reason. I have one more. I have one more on my
You have
list.
one more. Can you give me genre, possibly like year, so I can? Shut up. Is it Spider-Man? Did you just hint me with
I
Spider-Man?
mean, so if I had to pick between the many, many, many Spider-Man movies, this is the one that I would have picked.
You would pick Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
That ended
that
up
is a great pick.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Really
like,
good.
it's kind of funny because like I didn't pick any of the movies from the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Yeah.
but I do like as like an honorable mention. Like I could have very easily picked Winter Soldier or
yeah.
Infinity War or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But I was like, if I had to pick a Spider-Man movie, it would have to be that Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2. I didn't tell you any of my honorable mentions, or not the honorable mentions, my secondaries.
Yeah.
The only one you were aware of was The Shining.
Okay. Yes.
So this is where all of the great movies are. The great movies that like
Oh, yes.
hit fire on all cylinders.
Yeah.
So I told you The Shining. I told you Raising Arizona.
Yeah.
The Empire Strikes Back is on my secondary.
Oh, what was the first for Empire Strikes Back?
I don't know. I didn't have like.
Oh, you didn't have a like.
assign
If I
them.
couldn't
No,
grab
yeah.
this one, I'd grab this one. Okay, yeah.
These are these are just my secondary five.
Yeah, yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark
Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely thought of that one.
and Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, I thought of that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah,
Just 'cause-
and then,
yeah.
like, I had a whole bunch of honorable mentions that I was just like, I told you most of them. But it's like, yeah, Winter Soldier, Infinity War, Guardians of the Galaxy are my Marvel movies.
Yeah,
And then I told you The Godfather, told you Die Hard,
yeah.
The Thing,
Oh yes.
Terminator 2,
Okay. Yeah.
The Dark Knight,
Yeah.
and the first Rocky.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Did you explain while I was away that like we couldn't pick, like you can't just
Right.
say Rocky and then get all Rocky films. You can't say Lord of the Rings, get all the Lord of the Rings.
I didn't explain that, but
Yeah.
like it has to be one movie. Like you
Yes,
can't pick
can't.
the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Because I mean, I definitely would have taken like Lord of the Rings trilogy or like
Yeah.
Die Hard, all the Die Hard movies, or you know what I mean?
Right,
like,
right. That doesn't
like
count.
it would have been it would have been easy to like kind of to be if you were choosing like that. I wouldn't be picking probably any single movies. I'd be picking like like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and now I've got like like 30 movies.
Yeah, yeah.
Guardians is the only Marvel one I would bring because all the other ones are connected. And Guardians
Yeah,
is like
that's
the
true.
most complete its own story.
Yeah.
And it's also probably like my number 2 Marvel film. Like
Okay.
Infinity War might be like my number 1.
Yeah.
But Infinity War is so tied in that I just couldn't bring it with me because it's like I can't watch the other stuff,
Infinity War, I think so. I disagree. I think that Infinity War works by itself,
Yeah.
and the reason for why is because they structured Infinity War with Thanos as the protagonist.
Yeah.
And I almost didn't even realize it until the very last scene and then they play the music, and the last note
Yeah.
is a hopeful note.
Yeah.
Like it's like we did it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And it's like it's a sad ending, and then the music's like yay,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, like Thanos was the protagonist.
Yeah.
Like, and because they structure it that way, it's his journey trying to fight everybody else and like accomplish it, and he does. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's an incredible film, and I do think that it stands by itself.
Yeah. I think
That's just me.
Well, I think it does a good job of standing by itself.
Yeah.
However, like if you're stuck on this island for 20 years, then now you've got 20 years removed from watching the Doctor Strange, the Ant-Man,
Yeah.
the
So
whatever.
now you just agree with Thanos.
Yeah,
Now you're just on
like,
Thanos' side.
You're like, I don't even remember what that is referencing, or you're losing that connection to this whole build-up to this movie. That's more like where I was going with it. Like you wouldn't, like you wouldn't probably want to bring like the Lord of the Rings movie like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, like the Two Towers.
Yeah, because then you're like losing that connection. Even though we both are going to bring Empire Strikes Back, you know.
Right.
But
yeah, Empire's the best one.
Yeah. Come on. Do you want me to like quickly read off my alternate movies that I would have brought if I couldn't bring the other ones?
Yeah.
Okay. Sound of Music.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lawrence of Arabia.
All right.
Yeah.
You really thought of runtime, didn't you?
Yeah. So I was thinking Runtime, you know, and just
Yeah.
those weird human connection kind of movies.
Yeah.
City Lights.
Yeah.
The Village.
Wait.
I'd bring The Village.
The Village.
Yeah. Because the love
That
story in it
surprises me.
It is my favorite love story of all time.
It really is incredible.
And the connection between like those two is so wonderful.
Yeah.
That I feel like if I was on an island, I would watch it up until the part where he gets stabbed, and then I would shut it off. No, I'd probably watch the whole thing.
No, yeah.
Because I'm not a fan of the ending, but
You're not a fan of the twist.
I love everything up to the twist of that film.
Yeah.
Where I think it's
I
the
like the
best.
twist.
I think it's the best. I think it's his best movie.
Yeah.
Like the older I get, the more I'm like, that's his best movie up to the twist. The twist, I wish the twist never happened. I wish he just didn't do a twist and he kept it like a love story.
Yeah.
And there are stupid monsters out there. And and she's just going for it. I really like that.
Yeah.
My last one is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Really? Wow.
So because once again, like I didn't have a Tarantino, and I was actually thinking like, what's a Tarantino I would like to bring with me?
Yeah.
And they're all so violent, and there's like kind of down moments in them, and I feel like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is like really ends on like a high note. Granted, it's violent at the end, but it doesn't really have that violence up to it. And I feel like there's that buddiness between Cliff and what's his face, DiCaprio and the stuntman.
Oh, yeah.
There's that buddy aspect there that I like, that I really enjoyed.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And then there's the runtime too, which is a big plus.
Yeah. I feel like all my last movies were like, you know, higher runtime on them.